then it means we can start. So after yesterday, many of us approached us or tweeted us that this was the best Spark.me kickoff ever, and we have to humbly admit, because we heard so many amazing speakers sharing insightful stories from all these different fields of expertise. And we believe that all of them had something in common, is that no matter the diversity of stories we could have heard, they all were meaningful enough, every one of us can take something with them. Well, aside from, and we also plan to continue on today as well. So aside from a great lineup of speakers, you will also have the opportunity to, again, cheer for our 3 finalists in our startup competition. So congratulations to Marley, Hotel, and Top Digital Agency for making it to the finals. The best of luck today. They will be competing for the opportunity to travel to San Francisco and present their startup at the TechCrunch Disrupt Startup Alley, which is the biggest meeting point of startups, investors, and media in the world. And I also have to bring your attention to some special people in the audience today, which is our sparkme official brand ambassadors and bloggers. So these are the people that are so passionate about Spark.me that they agreed to lend us their voice and platform and share their Spark.me experience with their followers, and in that way help us light the sparks in people and places we could not reach otherwise. So please give a big round of applause for Alexandra Petrovsky, Andrea Pinto, Ivana Stankovic, Jelena Tomidjevic, Goran Mijanovic, Vladimir Kurla, Mihailo Cvetkovic, Mark Lambert, Milo Jalic, Nikola Jovanovic, Peter Zanko, Stan Gavassi, Jasha Deo, Dana Lesinski, and Mila Matko. Thank you guys. And also we have to say that we are sending a lot of positive energy to Edward Romai, who could not be with us today, but we hope we see each other soon as well. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, this is my favorite part. So our first speaker is someone amazing. So she has hiked Kilimanjaro, she plays ballet professionally, and she also flies a helicopter, knows how to fly. And if that is not impressive enough, she's also a best-selling author, speaker, consultant, and an overall authority on brand leadership. So please help me give a really warm welcome to Denise Lee Yan.
Good morning, and Zdrova. Did I say that right? It's great to be with you here today. I'm so glad. I want to jump right into my content and explain that I'm not actually going to be talking about branding, okay? Because branding as a term actually is kind of problematic. If you think about where the term branding came from, it was started back when people had cows and ranches, and they needed to make sure that people wouldn't steal their cattle. So they would take these kind of poor innocent cows and this sharp pointy iron, stick the iron into these burning holes and then sear their mark on the cow, just so that if you found one of the cows, you know who it belongs to. That's what branding means today, and it's insane that branding works as a business concept. So I'm not going to be talking about branding as in searing your logo on something to make sure that people know that you own it. I'm going to be talking about brand building as in developing a powerful asset that creates value for you as well as your customers. So I'm not going to be talking about logos, okay? For example, how many of you would consider yourselves to be an Apple fan? Yeah, one person, right, that's me. Okay, there are lots of you all the time. Well, I bet none of you loves Apple because of their logo, right? Okay. I'm also not going to be talking about advertising per se, because the real retail chain, The Gap, shows that you can have some of the best advertising in the world and still struggle with actual business performance. Through the years, at the Gap, they had some of the best ads in the world. Creative, celebrity photographers, fun music, dancing, and yet also through the years, the Gap has really struggled with their sales and profits. So if you think about it, advertising is actually notoriously unreliable at sustaining brand strength. So I'm not going to talk about ads. I'm also not going to talk about gimmicky marketing programs like frequent flyer programs. Are any of you a member of one of these frequent flyer programs? Yeah, okay, quite a few of you. Again, I bet none of you loves your airline because of their frequent flyer program, right? For example, I fly on American Airlines probably more than I would like to admit, but I don't love that airline. I don't feel any emotional connection to that airline. In fact, I don't even really recommend American. The only reason why I fly on that airline is because I have earned enough points to be an elite member, and so I actually can get on the plane early enough to get a decent seat and have room in the overhead baggage area for my bags and be able to put down a tray table and get some work done on the plane. But that's not true brand loyalty. And I'm sorry, but American is not a true great brand. Any company that relies on gimmicky marketing programs like this is not a truly great brand. You don't even want to assume that if you have a great product, that you will have a great brand. How many of you own an Apple iPad? Okay, again, quite a few of you. All right. Does anybody own a Motorola Zoom? Anybody? Yeah, okay. There usually isn't anybody. Now, the problem is that the Zoom, according to the experts, is a superior product in terms of features and functionality. But I think we all agree which brand we would rather have. So if great brands, these kind of rock star brands, aren't built through advertising or clever marketing, or even great products, how do you build a great brand? How do you build the kind of brand that people wait out and camp out overnight for or pay a huge premium for? Well, some people, when they try to figure out how to build a great brand, they come up with theories like, they look at like Apple or Starbucks or Nike and they say, well, they had great timing or good market conditions or just plain luck. And so they kind of shrug their shoulders in resignation and just hope that they will be just as lucky. But hope is not a strategy. And you don't want to treat your brand building efforts like spaghetti, throwing them up against the wall and just seeing what sticks. You just don't have the resources to waste like that. And believe me, I understand that many of you operate under limited resources, maybe even you've seen your budgets shrink, right? But at the same time, you have increased challenges. There's a lot going on in the marketplace. Digital disruption alone changes the game, right? You also have a lot more competition. There's startups, there's established brands that are consolidating, there's new brands that you might be competing with online or from other regions as you grow. And then, of course, there are elevated expectations from your customers. Customers are being trained by the best companies in the world to expect to get what they want, when they want it, where they want it, how they want it, and so they expect that from you as well. So you've got a lot of challenges ahead of you, and so that's why I'm here. Because the best weapon that you can use to fight all of these challenges is a great brand. And I've had the privilege of working on some of the world's greatest brands, and I've basically cracked the code on how to build a great brand. So today I'm going to lay out for you the complete blueprint for how you build a great brand. I'm going to share with you what I've learned from all the work that I've done, as well as the work I did researching my first book, What Great Brands Do, so that you will know what works, so you'll stop hoping and start knowing, right? You'll stop wasting your resources and start focusing them, and you will stop struggling and start succeeding. So I'm going to share with you that blueprint for what great brands do. And the very first thing that I want to share is the thing that distinguishes great brands the most. Okay? The main difference between what great brands do and what other companies do has very little to do with marketing and advertising, how well they serve their guests, how innovative they are with their products. The biggest difference between what great brands do and what other companies do is they think about and use their brands differently. They don't operate as if their brand is separate from how they run their organization. They know that's very short-sighted. They know that your brand is not so incidental to your business that you can kind of, change it whenever you like. Your brand's not an image like a pair of clothes that you change. If you want to change how your brand is perceived, substantive changes in your business must happen because your brand and your business must be integrated. And that's because your brand is what you do and how you do it. Okay, now in business school, they'll probably tell you that the official definition of brand is, your brand is the bundle of values and attributes that define the value that you deliver to customers and the way that you do business. Basically, your brand is what you do and how you do it. And if you think about and you use your brand in this way, it has so much power. Because everyone who works on your brand, you and your partners, your employees, your agencies, your business partners, everyone shares one common understanding of how to build your brand, how to nurture it and grow it, what to do, what not to do. Because everyone knows the role that you want to play in the world and how you're meant to play it. And it makes it ruthlessly clear how to spend your resources so you don't waste them on things that aren't right for you and your future. So your brand should drive, align, and guide everything that you do. So how do you know whether you are building this kind of brand that drives, aligns, and guides everything you do? Well, one way you do it is I have a brand assessment tool that I use with my clients. And it's a 10-question assessment. Unfortunately, we don't have time to go through all 10 questions, but I want to go through one question today. I do want to let you know that you can access the rest of the questions if you go to this URL. It's a great tool for you to use with you and the rest of your people in your company. And if you don't get this URL now, don't worry. I have some other tools I'll share with you, and I'll show the URL again. But let's talk about that one question that I want to share with you today. It has to do with your brand stakeholders. Okay? When I say stakeholder, I mean anyone who has a stake in the success of your business. Okay? So obviously you, your partners, your employees, again, your agencies, business partners, suppliers, distributors, maybe even some key customers. Okay? I want you to think about your key brand stakeholders. And I want you to give them a rating on a scale from 1 to 10, okay? Where a 1 means that they pretty much disagree on what's on brand and what's not. And a 10 means that they consistently share one common understanding of what your brand stands for and how to ensure brand reinforce it. So think about your key brand stakeholders and give them a rating just in your head on a scale of 1 to 10. Just take a moment and think about it. Okay, did anyone rate your key brand stakeholders as a 10? Everyone shares one common understanding of it. Anybody? Okay. Did anyone rate it, as a 1? It's kind of hard to admit that. I know it's scary. Okay, let me make this easy for you. If you gave a rating of an 8 or above, you're in good shape, okay? But if you gave a rating of anything a 7 or lower, you're basically saying that you don't have the precision of strategy and the clarity of focus and the high standards of execution that you need to compete and win in today's competitive marketplace. It might have been enough in the past, but you don't have what it takes now. So I want to help you close that gap. I'm going to share with you the 7 brand building actions that all great brands take, and I'll actually show you how to close a lot of other gaps that you might see in your business as well. And actually, I have to say that there's an 8th action, which is the most important one, but we can't get to the 8th one until we know all 7. So I'm going to go through all 7 fairly quickly. Don't worry about it. You won't be here forever. But I do want to make sure you get as much value out of my presentation as possible. So I want to go through all 7, and I'm going to jump right into it, but I promise you I will get to the 8th one. Okay. So brand building action number 1. Great brands start inside. I mean that great brands start brand building by cultivating a strong brand-led culture inside their companies. Culture is the necessary first step when you want to build or rebuild your brand, because culture is what determines whether the people who are responsible for delivering on your brand, you and your employees, know what your brand stands for and understand it and embrace it. But culture is not the necessary, the typical way that most people start brand building, or if they want to revisit their brand. They usually start with communications. People, when they want to reinvigorate their brand, will be like, oh, we need a new logo, or we need a new tagline, or we need new advertising, or a new website, or more PR. And I think that's because people turn to communications first, usually, because it's a lot easier to change what you say about yourself than to actually change yourself. And communications, do get people's attention, but great brands know that you must have a clear, focused, differentiated purpose and values to guide, drive, align in everything that you do. And then once those have taken hold, then you have something worth communicating. So great brands start inside. They start by culture building. Now, I learned this lesson when I was at Sony Electronics. I was heading up brand and strategy, and this was back in the late 1990s. And up until that point, Sony had enjoyed that kind of rock star brand status. People paid a huge premium for our Sony products. People thought that our Sony products were most innovative, best designed, best quality. You might have had a Sony, but if you were old enough, you might have had a Sony product back then. And, I think looking back on that period, I think we took that brand advantage for granted. Success breeds complacency. And so I think that a combination of arrogance, frankly, and laziness led us to be completely vulnerable when we started to be undercut by lower-end market players that were ripping off our technology, as well as Apple when they introduced the iPod and the iTunes. Because of this, Sony no longer had a technological advantage. And because of that, we no longer had a brand advantage. So we started working on how do we reclaim our market leadership. And all sorts of theories were put out there. Some people said, well, let's just wait and see. Let's hope our next product is a real winner. We were doing a lot of digital cameras then. But most of us didn't want to wait and see whether R&D had gotten it right. So we knew we couldn't do that. Some people said, let's run a big splashy TV campaign telling everyone how great Sony is. But because we no longer had superior technology, we didn't think we could run ads that made promises we couldn't keep. We finally realized we needed to challenge our ingrained way of thinking about market leadership and thinking about our brand. We needed to be as innovative in our go-to-market strategies as our products were. And we needed to be as creative in every aspect of our business as our ads were. Everyone in our company had to have a brand building mindset. So we started inside. We started by reinvigorating our brand, re-articulating what was the Sony brand all about. And then we launched a multi-dimensional brand engagement program so that we reached every employee in the company with this newly inspired brand vision. We did things like we had a national contest at our national sales meeting where people competed for prizes based on their knowledge of the Sony brand. We had an internal forum. It was online where people could go online and submit comments and examples about the Sony brand. We even had this brand toolbox called Being Sony, which was all for internal, just for employees, so that all of our employees would know what the new brand stood for and how they could use the brand in their daily decision making. That toolbox was chock full of tools like planning frameworks and decision-making tools and even a brand touchpoint wheel, which I will talk about in just a moment. But only after we did all of these internal culture-building activities did we have a workforce that was re-energized and refocused and ready to compete and win on all fronts. So that's what I mean by starting inside. Do you have a strong, focused, clear purpose and values to guide everything that you do? And are you ensuring that everyone who works on your brand is inspired and informed and instructed on how to use your brand? Without that depth of brand engagement internally, everything you do everything you do externally on the outside is going to be kind of like putting lipstick on a pig. But if you take the time and put the energy in building your culture, building your brand from the inside out, you will have laid the foundation and ignited the fuel to get that rock star brand status on the outside. So great brands start inside. Oh, and I wanted to mention actually about culture building. I just released a new book called Fusion, How Integrating Brand and Culture Powers the World's Greatest Companies. So if you want to learn more about aligning brand and culture, this is the book for you. And it just came out on audiobook last week. So please go ahead and check it out. And if you go to this URL, you'll be able to download the first chapter for free, as well as access another assessment tool that can help you with your culture building. But let me go ahead and just wrap up this first action by saying that everyone in your organization, not just you, needs to have a brand building mindset. So that's why great brands start inside. Let me go on to action number 2. Great brands avoid selling products. You know, great brands know that it's far more effective to seduce people through emotion than to push products on them. You know, Carrie yesterday in her presentation had this great quote that was the same thing about wanting to create a reaction among people. And that's because, you know, when you create a reaction, you're reaching people where it counts. We humans are emotional beings. We make decisions about our products and brands based on how they make us feel and the identities that they enable us to express and experience. So great brands avoid selling products. And that's why I know that you have this great beer here in Montenegro, Ničitsko Pivo. Did I say that right? Yeah, okay. That's why they say Ničitsko Pivo is made for pleasure, with pleasure. And you know, their ads always show parties or beaches or sports because it's the emotion that their product brings up. Same thing with Apple. You know, when you buy an Apple product, you're not just buying a cool gadget. You know, you're buying a piece of coolness and a way of feeling great about yourself. For me, I love Nike because Nike inspires me to feel like an athlete. So I always buy Nike running shoes, even though I heard that Nike's competitors' products are just as innovative. But I always buy Nike products. And Nike succeeds with me and millions of people like me because they don't tout their technology or promote their features or push their products without linking them to values like status, and self-expression and aspiration. So Nike, you could say, avoid selling products. And it's not just companies in technology or beer or sporting goods or sexy categories like that. I wanted to share with you Salesforce. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Salesforce. Okay, quite a few of you. CRM, cloud-based program. They are the world's largest software company. Fairly new entry into the market, able to offset or disrupt, I should say, like Microsoft and Oracle and all of these established players. They've been successful in part because they make an emotional connection with their customers. They refuse to be like a boring technology company. They want to make it fun. They talk in plain, simple language, and they keep focused on the number one thing, which is making their customers love them. So if you want to resonate emotionally with your customers, ask yourself, what business are you really in? Okay, you may be selling food, but are you really in the business of bringing people together over memorable moments? Or you may be in the hospitality industry, like maybe helping running a hotel or marketing a hotel. But are you really in the business of pampering people and giving people the needed break that they so desperately crave? You may be in an agency selling advertising, but are you really in the business of making your clients their company's heroes? You want to ask and answer yourselves this question: what business are we really in? And make an emotional connection instead of selling your product. Okay, action number 3 is great brands ignore trends. Now, I know this sounds kind of counterintuitive because I think we've all been trained that we should follow trends, because trends are the way that we ensure that we are relevant as customers evolve and markets change. But you know what? Great brands seem to have discovered that when you follow a trend, you end up following what everyone else does. And you then are often blinded to truly new breakthrough ideas that you could own for yourselves. So great brands ignore trends. An example here is from IKEA, the furniture and household retailer. IKEA's mission is to improve the everyday life for the many people. And one way they do that is...
Okay, cool. That means I should have come up with a new talk. No, this is a brand new talk. I just tested it on the beach in England, and the Brits are a harsh audience. So here we go. Fortune favors the firecracker questioner. I came over here last year, fell in love with you, and I basically said, how can I find a way to come back? And I was like, well, I think I hit them with too much too quick, and I want to turn back the clocks. I want to cover a little bit of what we covered last time, but I want this to help you learn and drop a few little brain bombs into your skull on how to think. And I have to be honest with you, I changed the name of my consultancy, TBC Global, from the Burkhart Consultancy, probably one of the best moves I've made, to the Balkan Consultancy. And I've been here like 6 times, and I'm going to tell you in the last year, and I'm going to tell you what I've learned. But mostly the themes have been about storytelling at speed, freaks and geeks shifting meats, because no one does meat better than this region. Can I hear an amen? Amen. Thank you. Meats, treats, and beats. Here we go. Let's get started. We've got a little time. I've gone 2 minutes. Okay. What we're going to cover is the fact that I'm covering you. I'm covering this entire conference. I learned this from you. I don't know if you remember, but Ivana, who I've already seen some tweets from, and several others came up on stage, and I awarded them for some content that I call ballsy. Because of you and because of the atmosphere that you created for this conference, I now get paid to do that for conferences. I'm a rap artist. For the first time, my hip-hop styles have come through. WRAP, thank you very much. I will be summarizing everything. I want you guys to come up with brilliant content like I know you will, and I will be picking on several of you throughout this presentation. Get ready for it. I will be picking on the speakers. I'm already picking holes in Mark Schaefer. Not very many because he's brilliant, but is Mark going to make the bin? We shall see. I want you to Instagram, to tweet, and I will be judging you just like I judge my wife. And she's here too. Sorry, baby. She hadn't seen me since Lithuania 2013, and I did a talk on Twitter, and not a single bloody soul in Lithuania is on Twitter. So she's not really that proud of me. Anyway, we're also giving away some of these bad boys, limited edition Lego buses. And I'm taking the instructions away because this is about curiosity. Don't follow the instructions. That's the only lesson you get. Fine. I also do Lego. I teach clients how to solve problems with Lego. That's Donald Trump's White House that we solved a little problem there for him. Because I know if I gave you Legos right now, you would not be listening to me. You'd be solving problems and you'd have all three types of learning going on in your skull. So I'm not going to give these out just yet. But what I will say, and I probably told you this last time, we got problems not with the attention span, because if it's great content, you shall listen. We got problems with all the devices, all the things you could be doing right now, but you're choosing to try to listen to me for a few seconds. What country basically invented most of these, would you say? Probably?
Norway.
Oh, well, Norway is a good guess with Spotify, but yeah, probably the USA. We master distraction. Tinder, for example, right now, some of you have probably decided, I'm skipping the pool party, I've found some swipe right love. That's fine, that will be fine, but what I want you to say is the country I come from, the country Mark comes from, Carrie, Astro Mike, who you'll hear from later, we've mastered distraction. You guys have mastered this sport called basketball, but we have mastered distraction in basketball. Let me set it up for you. I'm at the free throw line. I'm about to win the game. I'm about to win it for, wait for it, Slovenia beating Serbia in the finals. How painful is that? Weird, there's one Slovenian here who I will pick on. Yeah. Okay, here we go. You're going to have to watch that again. They gave birth. Someone gave birth to try to distract someone from making a free throw. That is a beautiful thing. Now here's the problem. You miss it every time. If someone on this stage gave birth while I was trying to talk, I would probably keep talking. I'm an idiot like that. Obviously, last time we talked about the book, all this crazy attention span stuff led to me helping brands find the voice in real time, okay? But things went from newsjacking to crazy hijacking madness that we talked about last time because of this ready, fire, aim. People just doing things way too quick. So what I've decided to do for you today is go back to let's learn how to think. Let's not just jump into some madness. This is the madness we talked about last time. It is still effective, but I think I was too soon because if you don't know how to think and you don't know how to channel your curiosity to make yourself known, like Mr. Schaefer said, then Brave ain't going to help you. Of course, the content that you guys are going to be creating for me, because I got an assignment for you on this very pad, but the broken pad. Is it brave? Is it actionable? Is it likable? Is it long-lasting? Is it surprising? Is it you-centric? My philosophy, my content checklist, the reason that your content for your brands is going to stand out still stands the test of time for that. But I would like, if you'll allow me to go back and let's learn a little bit more about how to think. What we're going to take you on is a journey from awareness, you know, kind of all this malarkey from awareness to advocacy. But inspirational content is social media. Mark talked about these quick hits that don't really last long. You know, inspirational, educational, get somebody to have a video of your brand if you're in real estate, and have some friends here today in real estate who are too shy to mention it tomorrow, get a testimonial. You know, if you're setting up a big real estate complex down here called Mia, get some testimonial content about how amazing it is. Promotional content and delightful content. This is the whole structure that I know for a fact is going to help you. But I think now that we got where you're going to go, let's step back to right over here. The thinking before we even get to this. That is the thinking that I call black mamba, dung beetle, or harpy eagle. Think in your brain which one of these you associate with best. I have a feeling that I've nailed you all because I can kind of know which one you're going to agree with. My wife is a dung beetle. Let me explain, Joe. You are an amazing woman. You take on Herculean tasks 1,100 times your body weight, and you complete them. That's what a dung beetle does. My wife doesn't shovel shit. She has to deal with this, which is very similar. Okay, so that is someone, how many of you can relate to taking on way too much and just being freaking genius at it? So look, these are like the bloggers, which is like they're trying to learn and blogging this whole thing. So we got that, then we got harpy eagles, and they're like, these freaking eagles fly over like the jungle, and they look for like massive animals and say, yeah, I'll take that. So they swoop down on a monkey, take the monkey out. That is one bad mother trucker, the harpy eagle. That's another way you can approach creativity. Instead of taking on too much and being amazing, you can go like a harpy eagle, looking for your right moment. Is your right, this is actually quite feminine, the way I'm walking. Is your moment just strike at the right time? Do you strike at the right time? I actually think a lot of you in this room are black mambas. Why? You slip up on people, you cut them, you surprise them, you have what I call Del Boy thinking. I think a lot of people, I've only spoke here 6 times, so I'm only judging it on a sample of 6 events. I think a lot of you see some opportunities and you've got to be cheeky. The budgets aren't necessarily. You make a lot out of something small. I want to kind of focus on Del Boy thinking. Can someone relate to Del Boy in this room, or have I made this up? Do we know Del Boy? Yeah. Okay, cool. Hold on to your balls. You'll get a chance to use them later. My lovely wife, who doesn't know I'm mentioning this either, I asked Joe, will you allow me to go to my wedding in a Del Boy car? She said, absolutely, I want to have nothing to do with it. So this was a posed picture. Please give her a round of applause. I'm Del Boy. I'm the Robin Reliant. She is a Rolls Royce, and that's what she went to the wedding in. So these are my Del Boys. These are the Del Boys from this conference. They've chosen to be dung beetles. They're taking on way too much. They're going to be brilliant at blogging this whole conference. I know many of them. I will be picking on several of them. But I will be watching you like a hawk to see if your content is ballsy and your thinking is curious. There's a couple of even people here that may get on stage in quite a second, because we have something I've got to give away in this curious little box. Sounds dangerous. I do my research on all countries before I arrive, and I have to say, when I type in countries like Serbia, Montenegro, Slovenia, you can read, I get the fact that I can sum up the Balkans according to Google autocomplete. Like when you type Slovenia into Google, this is the first thing that it says. You guys are basically small, little, negative, fat people that are good at water polo and good at tennis. I'm not sure that's fair. But what I will say, what this has taught me, when I try to show this map to people in America that they don't even know what this part of the world is, there is some kind of, it's a controversy, it's a contradiction of terms. What I love about all the people I've met is there's a hunger here to be more creative, to be more curious, but you have to find those little moments, and you can't let Google judge you, because while some people are good at water polo, that's not all. By the way, what is that country that's good at water polo? Hungry. Peter's the only one that can relate to that. So when I tried to relate to you guys, I was like, well, what am I known for? I'm just a guy that sweats on people. So I looked into where Mark and I are from, and I said, oh my God, the thing most typed into Google from my home state of Tennessee is the fact that Mr. T is dead. I found this slide a night ago, and I freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh, is Mr. T dead? How many of you know how Mr. T died? Wait, you don't think he's dead? He's not dead. This is fake news. I'm so angry. I was like, wait a second. Could it be metaphorical? Maybe it's metaphorical death, because he's like a sellout because he's got his own cereal. So I looked into this, and Bobby said, do you mind coming up here? I just need an assistant. He's dead. They're from a actually on stage. He is dead because, this is partly because I need to breathe. He's dead because he's sold out, because he basically had his moment. He sold out for millions to be on Dance with the Stars. This is why people think he's dead. Last time I brought someone on stage, they were wearing such a short skirt that that's all they even talked about my talk. I don't know if you remember it. Thank you very much. This is lovely. Liza from Liza has no problem with confidence. She may have been forced into coming up on stage. This is the trifecta that I really, really struggle with. I think I've never been given a brief where I had enough time, where I had enough resources, and where my little line of work comes in is to help people have the creative resource to make the time and resources stretch. I genuinely believe that what I'm thinking, what Mr. Schaefer is peddling in a beautiful way, is creative confidence. And I know that it's finding ways to take these little shortcuts. What Brené Brown calls a craft starter, this is curiosity. It is okay, because you've got to rumble with a story to find the truth. I want to rumble with some stories about meat. You guys represent meat to me. I come here and I leave in a meat coma. I have so much meat. I went to the most famous restaurant, 10 minutes. I went to the most famous restaurant in Belgrade on my 4th day, and I had salad. The waiter took me aside and said, don't come back here. While Mark and I were speaking in the UK, a man came up to me, told me about his meat. He's got a meat company, meatbox.com, and I went through my process with him. He basically has a subscription box where meat comes to, dehydrated meat comes to his door. We call it beef jerky. Is beef jerky big in the Balkans, or do you even know what I'm talking about? You know about dehydrated meat, though, but it's not big here. Well, I think it is big one place. This is their castle. This is what I help people build. They know who they're talking to. I'm going to take you through the whole process of what I took Mr. Meatbox through. He's reaching out to athletes, protein-loading people who love having that low-fat meat come to their door on a weekly basis. This is my recent discovery from Google Trends this morning. Can you believe, Jaja, can you refute or deny? Where are you?
Here.
Where?
Here.
Oh yeah, okay. I am so proud that you and I can be friends now. Because we're talking beef jerky, we're talking you got more jerky going on than the USA. I would love to swap jerky stories, but we will get into that. Let me just show you how I want you to use your curiosity. I want you to go, not now, later, to googlefeud.com. How many of you know Google Feud? It's my main research tool, and only 4 of us know it. So this morning, who was the first person in the world? You have to basically try to guess what the #1 query is. I just assumed it would be eating a burger, because that's what I like. It wasn't. I assumed it would be inventing the ball, because I like balls. It wasn't. Dying from ball injuries, not even there. This is it. I want you to think deeply for a second while I sit down and rest. Does this not describe the perfect life? You're born, you fart a lot, you get a tattoo of Nike. The blue eyes thing would get a little racist. We're not going there. And then you. Well, actually, some of the Ebola's probably a bad idea. But this is basically I go crazy. I get loads of ideas just by feuding with Google. I dare you to give it a go. Who makes the best? Can you tell me what country types stuff into Google most by this analysis? I would say the U.S. freaking A. Thank you, Vladimir. Yeah, I mean, anyone who has AK-47, snowblowers, and pizza, that's a good party. That's a lovely party. Here we go. We don't do rational questions. These are what's already a given for people, yeah? These are what you're on your phone right now looking at. You get past the rational, then we go into straight up, we got to solve the W's. These W's, there's a problem there. The one W is the dark social problem that a lot of you are now not, thanks to Facebook and people having your data, you're not sharing on your phone. Things are private. What is our top challenge in a world where people use WhatsApp? They're sharing, like I was telling this meat guy, the fact that people share about their meat in dark places is a bad idea because it doesn't help him build his business. People saying, did you get your subscription box? They're not sharing it on social anymore. Creating engaging content. Brains, not budget. This is the process that we need to go in. Questions, imagination, empathy, and testing. I'm going to take you through that. When I typed in curiosity, I got distracted because that's what I do. Animals. The most curious animal is who? Humans. That is the Kardashian. Right there. Who knew that that's where she got her little neck movement from? And again, I think these were staged. I don't know a lot of hamsters who read, but yeah, and that is just stupidity. Curiosity can lead to stupidity. Number one question in the world, in my world of sports marketing, is this. How many have an answer for that? Salah, Mo Salah, thank you very much. That's a right-in vote. In this one case, it was Ronaldo, but I totally disagree with that. I want you to find creative ways. What I come up with is a ton of questions which we're going to go through in the same way that, you know, when Canadians want their young people to have more beer on their travels, they just put a fridge that's opened by passports. Bad questions are like the Russians. You know, why don't we give you 30 minutes to steal a car, and if we don't catch you, you can keep it. Believe it or not, this led to a rise in car theft. So here is my worst question of the day. My worst question of the day, I'm going to ask God right now, why didn't you create the orange with a natural cover so we didn't have to wrap it in plastic? This is a horrible thing. Whole Foods, if I'm going to put on my Southern American preacher voice, you were going to hell for actually ruining plastic. We can peel our own. Thank you very much. Do you deserve a Les Paul? Another great question solved by the process of having a question, applying imagination to it, thinking about who you're talking to, guitar lovers, and then testing it. Do you deserve a Les Paul? Ask Shazam. Shazam is a musical judge. Normally it just recognizes songs on your phone, like you type it in, but in this one case, they use it as a judge. Swedish rockers would play this song, and then all of a sudden, the Shazam would tell them how correct they were. That's how they gave away this brand new guitar. Had a great question, found an imaginative answer for it. Lesson 1, question everything like a child. This is how you get a job at Google. You have to answer this question. I want you to come up to me, if, you know, someone, I forgot to tell Jazz this, someone in a workshop, Jazz, told me, my contrarian belief that no one else believes in the world is that the French suck at making cheese. Can you believe that? Yeah, and they proved it in their own way. I want you to have a bold opinion. Start with a bold opinion. If you've got kids, how many questions do you think they ask a day? Anyone guess? 3 to 5-year-olds. Anyone have a 3 to 5-year-old?
200.
200 going once. Anyone higher? Higher than 200. 210, sir. Okay. Well, you're all wrong. 73 is the average. But what I do is I ask my kids, am I an idiot? They usually tell me, and then I go to software like this. Curiosity. Please type down BuzzSumo. Their question answer analyzer is a great way to begin your constant curiosity search. Answer the Public is another one. I'm going to take you through the whole thing because I think creativity is our last weapon. Here we go. I was in Denmark, so I wanted to take the piss out of them, so I was making fun of them, praising the Swedes. The Swedes invented a brand called IKEA furniture store. This is what Answer the Public said about IKEA. Here we go. IKEA is where my wife and I went to get furniture and find out that we're incompatible in our furniture tastes. I like kind of bachelor wood and brick, and she likes tasteful things. So here we go. This is what we found out about IKEA. These are the top questions for IKEA. I came up with an idea with my team for all of these questions, an imaginative idea, and then I tested these because the best examples were these. Does anyone think IKEA has ever changed the world? Well, they have, and also they've tricked you because you think, I buy something from IKEA and all of a sudden I don't know how to put it together. So they buy TaskRabbit, so someone comes to your house and puts it together for you. That is constant curiosity, testing an idea, leading to a brilliant solution. Does anyone recognize this box? This box is a refugee tent. It's the best refugee tent in the world. It's made by IKEA. There are people right now in here having a family business because they can stand up, they can make crafts, they can do whatever. There's refugees getting out of their situation because of these tents. I beg you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, to go with me here and say that IKEA is changing the world. And I want your small businesses to come up with some IKEA refugee tent size ideas. It is possible. It's also possible to be relevant and cultural. How many of you know, because I'm sorry, the first person to tell me is get in the bus. How many of you know how this relates to IKEA?
I know, carpet.
What, explain it.
IKEA carpet, and they sew it together and made.
Are you even up?
Yes.
I know you. Come up and then give me a sweaty hug. Thank you very much. So here's the answer. Oh, I fell off stage. Take this away. So basically, that's IKEA rugs. They put out their stupid little instruction to basically say, cut a hole in it. Thank you very much. And that went crazy, crazy viral. Okay, 1 minute. So here we go. Firecracker questions. I want you to think about lots of tiny ideas leading to a big one. It will look hard. It will look like chaos. I want you to find the pattern in it. Sometimes this moment of curiosity can't happen every time. Just like a dog in fireworks, you can't have a fire show every day because it will create a crazy dog or a crazy cat. You know what? I want you to try to not sweat on people, but try to be as explosive as me. Try to think of an idea that is almost like an instant high five. That is what I think you can do. Be more unpredictable. And I want you to get your balls out. Our close, we're going to close on this. Balls in the air. Here we go. I want you to be, right now, sparkme 2018, I want you to get your balls in the air. You're going to vote on the biggest failures ever created in the history of mankind. I'm going to pitch them to you. You're going to vote on which one you think is the biggest epic fail. Because all of these brands have failed and survived and are stronger for it. Here we go. Do you think ketchup is fine and dandy being red? No. Let's make it atomic green. One of their biggest fails, Heinz. Number 2, I'm a Harley Davidson like motorbike guy. I want to smell like the hot road. I want you, sparkme, to do a hot road. Try a hot road, and finally, I'm good. I am all good with my teeth being slightly yellow, but nevertheless, Colgate can stick to what they're good at. Colgate are very good at oral hygiene, so now why stick to Italian frozen dinners? Get your balls out. Here we go. I'm going to go through these one at a time. Vote with your balls to end this, because I'm sweating. And Giovanna Biggs wants to ask me one question. I just canceled it. Did I literally turn it off? For Colgate being the absolute worst, I want all of you to vote right now with your balls. Very good. Cool. Thank you very much. I will go to that dice slide. The dice slide there. I will, the box, I want you to come up to me, Giovanna. I want you guys to try out constant curiosity. I've got an assignment for you. If anyone will get a photo with me, I've got a surprise for you that will help challenge you to be more curious. But you have to come up to me after I stop sweating. And that was when I enjoyed this conference the most, is actually talking to human beings after my sweatathon. Giovanna, come up and give me a sweaty little hug. Very good. Thank you.
And I have a
two questions, not one.
Okay.
Do you know that you came in Montenegro and that the best meat product is prosciutto and that is made here? So, yeah, and you just made the full of yourself?
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Is it made in this?
Yeah.
Is it dehydrated? No. Well, it can be. It can be. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No.
You made a fool of yourself. I love my moderators. Okay, yeah, did you have, okay, fair enough. Do you have another question?
Yeah. So, can boring companies have curiosity program? Non-meat based.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so, yes, you're right. I am guilty as charged. A lot of my examples were fun. I work for B2B companies. I work for a nausea relief company that were applying curiosity to travel sickness. I would say anywhere where there's a human being having to make a decision how to help their family, my constant curiosity works an absolute treat for them.
Okay, we have time for one question from the audience.
Oh.
Okay. Mike, can we get it here, please?
It's coming.
Catching up on about the boring company and curiosity.
Yeah.
Now, the Elon Musk boring company and curiosity.
Oh, we do not bring up that company. Okay. Yes. So I talked with Astro Mike, who will be on this stage soon, about the boring company. And my wife actually chimed in about this, that when you have so much money and so much free time that you can solve all these kind of passion projects. My take on that is, if it's going to help the world, and Elon Musk is a big thinker, and all of his ideas are based on some sort of idea of helping the world. His biggest fear is AI, artificial intelligence, so he's working on how that can not freak people out, even though his autonomous cars are probably doing that. So yeah, big questions, little questions, meat-based, non-meat-based, they're all game for constant curiosity.
Okay, we are done.
We are done. Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's time for a break. Enjoy yourself. I saw you cutting people. You can do that now for half an hour and be back from play when we will be continuing the program with our next speaker. Enjoy.
Where's your bag?
What's that?
Where's your bag?
Oh, it's right here. Let's get it. Good idea. Hello, how are you? Well, let's see it. Oh, yes, yeah.